Good morning, Kylan.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good in yourself.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions from Egypt, okay, to bother you with.
No problem.
Okay, can you start by introducing yourself?
Okay, I'm Kalen Deiter from the SA Breeders Association.
The Boergoat Association,
Yes.
okay, and you're a judge from the Boergoat Association. Okay,
100%.
so we want to start and ask about. We heard that there is three classifications. That there is a stud goat, a flock, and a cull. Okay, so we want to know the difference between these three classifications, please.
100%. In the South African Boergoat Society, we have a handbook that determines how you judge a boergoat. So what we will do is we'll have a look at the boergoat starting from the head. We'll check the teeth. We'll make sure that the teeth are biting on each other, not an overbite or not an underbite. We then move to the nose and the head. We make sure that we want a nice Roman nose, so a rounded nose. We don't want a flat nose, we want a rounded nose. Then we move to the horns. We make sure the horns are correctly spaced, as well as move in the same shape as the head. Then we'll move to the ears, make sure that the ears are nice and big and they're not folded. Then we'll move to the neck. The neck must be nice and fleshy, showing these lines on the neck. This determines if the male is manly or not manly. So this is a very nice example of a manly boergoat. It's got good characteristics as a man should have. It looks robust. It doesn't look like a female. Then we move over to the shoulders. We make sure that the shoulders are correctly spaced and also wide over the front portion of the goat. Then we look at the length of the goat, meaning from here to there, and we check the depth, making sure that it's got a good depth. This all determines your meat capacity of the goat, as well as the spacing over the hind quarter, that we get a good spacing, a broad spacing, fleshy hind quarter. This is the most important piece of meat on the boergoat, so we emphasize on this. With a male, we check that the testicles are the right size and well placed. We also check the teats, the spina, so that they are correctly spaced in order to meet the characteristics of a stud goat. So depending on the goat itself, if there might be a color that will be on the goat, as well as horns that might not be correctly spaced, the mouth might have an over or underbite, we might have a spear problem, we might have a small characteristic on this goat that is not 100% correct. We will then downgrade it to a flock animal, which is also 100% correct to breed with. Once it's got a problem that we're really not happy with and it's not according to our breeding standards, we will then move it down to a cull, meaning that it must be slaughtered. Now this animal, as you can see, it's got a plate in its ear, so it's registered with the South African Breeders Association of Boergoats. It's registered with them. This can also be confirmed with them by yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this silver plate means that is a stud.
It's a stud
Okay,
animal.
so there's a difference between the ear tag and the silver plate, right?
100%.
Okay, so when he gets the silver plate, meaning he's a stud.
Stud animal.
And the flock is undergrade, but it also has a pedigree and is full blood, right?
100%.
And only the cull goats, which are to be slaughtered.
Yes.
Okay, and these goats doesn't have any pedigrees.
No.
Okay, so what I understood when I came here to South Africa, that there is two organizations. Okay, the South Africa Boergoat Association and the SA Stud Book. Can I know what's the difference between both of them? Because what I heard that the South African Goat Association is the only goat association, or the Boergoat Association, that approves the pedigrees. So they are the ones that approve the pedigrees, and the stud book is the one. SA Stud Book is the one that issues the pedigrees. So
100%.
yeah.
So the Breeders Association, the South African Breeders Association of Boergoats, is the association that will class the goat. They're the only people that can determine if it's stud, flock, or cull. Then Stamboek is its own institution. It's a third-party institution that keeps the record of the animal. So meaning its mother and its father and generations. So Stamboek is only a registration platform of pedigrees. the only people that may say what animal is of good quality, or let's say stud, commercial, flock or cull, will only be the South African Boergoat Association. Will only be them that can determine that.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, so there's a question that is bothering us a lot. Okay, in Egypt, we want to know what is the difference between full blood and purebred Boer goats. Okay, because we hear a lot and we've seen in pedigrees that is written full blood and sometimes purebred. So we want to understand what is the difference between full blood and purebred here in South Africa.
Okay, in South Africa, the Boer goat is indigenous to our country, meaning that it originates from South Africa. So once you get pedigrees and full blood, our animals in South Africa are full blood. Abroad, unfortunately, they want these goats for their meat capacity. So it's a very good meat capacity goat. So internationally, they would buy either our semen, embryos, or they would buy the goats directly from us, depending on the border restrictions. Then they would take that Boer goat and put it with their indigenous goat. And then it would become a percentage Boer goat.
Okay.
After that, you would move to furthering that by putting that 25% kit with another Boer goat and another Boer goat, eventually getting a purebred
So go to F1, F2, F3, and
yes,
okay.
all those things.
Okay.
These goats are already full-blooded in South Africa. Because they originate from here, we only breed with Boer goats. We don't take a Boer goat and put it on any other goat.
Okay.
It's only Boer goat on Boer goat created here, so it's full-blooded animals. And hence, stud book does not put it on the pedigree, because it is a full-blooded animal. It's not necessary in our country to track T1, T2, T3, T4, because we start already with a full-blooded animal.
Okay. Okay, so literally what you're saying is that full blood is exactly purebred. Okay,
Yes.
so, and that's why you don't mention it here, and you don't say if it's full blood or purebred in the pedigree.
100%.
Okay, so I want to tell you something that I personally saw it, and I was very surprised that the pedigrees here are not stamped. I've seen all over the world that they are stamped. So I just want to make sure that these pedigrees are correct. And is there any possibility that we can check that these pedigrees are right or wrong? I want everything to be clear for all Egyptians that if these pedigrees are right or wrong. So
Okay, so Stamboek is a registration platform for your goats. It's a third-party institution. So it has nothing to do with the farmer himself. So he can't manipulate or do anything with that because it's a third-party institution. So once you buy the Boer goat, you have the right to contact Stamboek yourself and refer back to the tag number. They'll give you the full pedigree of the goat. So I understand in some countries they might want a stamp in order to validate that pedigree.
Yeah.
But in this country, you can contact a third institution, which is a privately owned institution that you can contact and confirm this with, which the farmer in South Africa has no control over. So it can't be manipulated.
okay, so in other words, if I buy a Boergoat, I can just contact SA stud book and ask them if this pedigree, so this pedigree number is exactly with the ear tag number, right?
100%.
Okay, so I just send them the ear tag number, which is written on the pedigree, and ask them if this pedigree is right or wrong.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there's something also I want to ask you. I've seen pedigrees that are full pedigrees and some are half pedigrees. So let's say a pedigree that has all the father's pedigree and the mother's pedigree is only the name of the mother. So is this correct? And if this also a full blood pedigree, or why is it like this? Or is it normal? And is it a bad quality, or it can be a good quality? What is your explanations to this pedigree that is half pedigree?
Okay, so in South Africa, there's farmers in our country that's breeding with 1,000 to 2,000 goats, and on a regular basis. So it starts becoming very difficult as a commercial farmer or a stud farmer to register every single animal, because it just becomes enormous amount of work. So what they do is we register the mother, I mean the fathers, all the fathers can be tracked all the way down to its great-great-grandfather. The mothers is only the mother, which gives you an indication from what mother it comes from. It's all full-blooded animals, so it will stay a full-blooded animal. In 2023, we have stipulated from the SA Boergoat Society that you will have to register your females by the end of 2023. But at this stage, it's still acceptable, it's 100% correct, and you can have freedom in your heart to buy it.
Okay, that's great. I heard that only 10% of the breeders are registered at the stud book. Is that correct?
Yes, this is because most of our farmers in South Africa are in rural, far out places. They don't have the capacity, the older generation farmers, they don't have the capacity to register these things and keep record of it. However, we have, like I said, we have implemented that this must be done by 2023.
So everyone will be registered, and you will have full pedigrees then.
Yes.
On. Okay, correct. There's something I want to understand very well, because I think it can be a very good advantage. I heard that here Boer goats can breed all year long. So is that correct? Because we always have the hassle, and we always hear abroad, and sometimes in Egypt as well, that there is the rams don't breed in the certain season. So I think it would be a very good advantage having Boer goats that breed all season, all year long. So is this correct here in South Africa?
Yes, there's one or two ways that you can do it. Naturally, we'll keep the Boer goat in a very good condition, thus stimulating his hormones to breed. The second way we do it is an artificial way, which means we put we call it a spawns in the female, and over 14 days we remove the spawns, and this, by doing this, we manipulate the hormones so that she goes on him. So like Gerard and their Boergoat stud, they do this technique. It helps with time saving, also obviously producing more production over a shorter period of time. Also controlling when the lambs are coming and when they're not coming. So if you have, example, a religious event that might be coming up, you can backdate that event and then make sure that your females are pregnant on a certain time, the lambs are born, they fed to a certain time, and you can sell them on that religious event.
That's great. So, but in other words, they can breed all year long. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Something else, I was asking about the teats of the female. So we always hear in Egypt that they need to have, as Boer specs, 4 teats. Is that correct, or is not correct?
No. There's for stud, there's certain characteristics, and then flock certain characteristics,
Okay.
and then cull as well.
Yeah.
So a stud animal must have either 2, 1, 1,
Yes.
or they can have 2 and 2, but they must be separated, so it can't be joined together.
Okay.
Then if they join together, you'll get a flock animal. If there's more than 3 teats on one side, and all 3 are producing milk, that
Okay.
can produce milk,
Okay.
then it will become a cull.
Okay.
So it can have 4 teats. Preferably, me as a farmer, I would more like 4 teats,
Okay.
or two, at least 2 and 1, because they have the tendency to breed twins and triplets and quads.
Okay.
So once you get triplets and quads, if you don't have enough teats, you're going to sit with a problem.
But it's not in the Boergoat Association specs that it needs to have 4 teeth.
No,
No.
it's not specifically 4.
Okay, so if I have 1 and 1, it's correct.
100% correct.
Okay, that's great. Okay, I've seen that it's a great, I mean, it's very important for you, the exporting phase. So in South Africa, that you export to any country is very important for you. So I want to know, what are the measures that you take in order that you export good quality?
Okay. No farmer or any institution in South Africa can export any animal outside of our country without the protection of the SA Boergoat Society. So one of the judges from the SA Boergoat Society has to go through each and every goat, make sure that it's of top quality, make sure that it meets the standards, and then it will only be exported. Because these are our animals, we take it very to heart that they are of top quality. We don't want to send anything outside of South Africa that's not of top quality. Otherwise, we're going to have a bad name in the market, which
Yeah.
is something we're protecting, and that's why the SA Boergoat Association is there.
And that's why you have to check them before they get exported, right?
100%, we have to.
Okay. I thank you very much, Kylan. I know you have always a tight time and it was very difficult bringing you here. Just one last question. You have checked all the Boer goats that are to be exported to Egypt, right?
Yes.
So I want you to tell me frankly, what do you think of the quality that is to be exported from grayling Boer goats?
This is 100% top quality Boergoat animals. I can really say with freedom in my heart, I'm happy that these things go to you guys in Egypt, and I hope you all the success in the world. I'm sure you're going to do very well with the animals you've purchased from grayling Boerboks.
I see a very good potential in Egypt in terms of, because we are meat eaters, so I believe that we have a great potential in Egypt for Boer goats. So do you think these goats that will be exported to Egypt will be an added value?
It will definitely be an added value. Like I said, they have the tendency to give twins, triplets and quads. This meaning getting more bok out of one female. Plus, this is the best meat goat in the world. It's the best meat goat that you can get in the world. So it will definitely help you with meat eating.
That's great. And it tastes good?
100%.
Thank you very much, Kylan.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
So I just want to ask a question. Kylan, at what age can you plate them start? How does it work?
Okay, one, we may only in South Africa plate or give him a silver tag on the age of 2 teeth. Before that, we don't put tags in for the fact that while the goat's still growing, we can't 100% say where it's going to land up at 2 teeth. So we rather say, if it's a nice animal but not yet 2 teeth, we'll say it's a potential stud.
Okay.
Meaning it's of good, very good quality, but we're just waiting for the 2 teeth to come out, and then we can say for surety it must be a stud animal.
And I heard that the pricing has nothing to do with flock and stud. I mean, there's plenty of stud of flock goats that are more expensive than normal stud goats. Is that correct?
100%. You get small things, color, teeth problem that might be 2 teeth, but they might be joined. But the structural build of the animal is 100% correct. Meaning that it could be even better than a stud animal. But because it might have a color, which we don't want, as well as teeth problems or small things that might class it down to a flock animal. But it's not something to be worried about. The quality is still 100% correct.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kylan.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.